Welcome to the Third Degree Masonic Podcast, where we are always on the level. We're your hosts. I'm Brother Samuel.
And I'm Brother Ryan.
And Brother Gabriel is currently trying to move, and we're just a bunch of Masons trying to find our place in this fraternity.
Somehow we got the better end of the stick there.
That we did. Craftsman, today I am both honored and pleased that we are going to once again have some really good friends of this show on, and we are going to pick their brain not only on their own podcast, but also we are going to find out from them what being a traveling man means to them. And I think it's going to be a blast. Every time we talk with these guys, it's always a good time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to having brothers Matt and Andrew from the awesome Masonic podcast, Time for Fellowship with Matt and Andrew.
Let's get right into it.
Sounds good.
And today, Craftsman, I have the pleasure of once again introducing some of our good friends, brothers Matt and Andrew from the awesome show, Time for Fellowship. Welcome to the show, guys.
How's it going? Andrew's got the soundboard going over there.
I love it. I love it.
I thought our system was just crackling. I was like, what is going on?
Oh, jeez.
You guys should. I knew I trapped you guys on Discord, and you're gonna have to listen to the sound.
Oh,
Taking a
jeez.
page out of my book.
So, brothers, it has been a little over a year since our last conversation. I hope you guys are doing very well. How have things been for you?
Go ahead, Andrew.
Oh, why do you want me to do? Good. Yeah. Living the dream over here in Wisconsin. Yeah, it's going
One
well.
nightmare at a time.
One nightmare.
Yep.
As our fellow co-host says, it's not Minnesota.
It's not Minnesota. Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah. We kicked him off the show. That's why he's not here today.
Nah, he's in
We
Minnesota.
have-
So,
We have more lakes than Minnesota, so, it's fine.
More cheese, more legs.
more cheese likes. So, what is the current culture going on in Wisconsin? What's the movers and shakers in your areas up to?
There's been a really big push about education lately in Wisconsin. A lot in District 12 as well, which is where Andrew and I are housed. But it's been mostly regarding moving education to the front of your meetings rather than having it be the last thing you do. Because then you can't use the excuse of, the meeting ran long, so we're not going to do education. And it also affords you the opportunity to call down to like entered apprentice or fellow craft, since we can only do stated communications in Master Mason. We can only conduct business in Master Mason here. So it gives us the opportunity to call down and bring those EAs and FCs into the room for education when we do it right at the beginning like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Get the kind of good part of the meeting out right away instead of, okay, let's talk about the bills and the communications and what events we have coming up. Okay, now that everyone's asleep, let's do some learning.
The fun thing about it, and why it works so well, like you're kind of alluding to, is the reason education gets skipped is if the meeting goes especially long on the business portion, people are like, I just want to get out of here, man. And then it's like time for education. But when we do it at the front, it burns a bunch of the time, so the business part goes faster because people want to get out of there. And I want people to want to get out during the business part, so they keep things concise. They stop rambling on. And it's like you'll find that people are more ready just to go, that sounds great. Let's just move forward, or, light discussion. And then if there is discussion going, I don't know, beyond like 4 people, and it seems contentious, just being like, hey guys, you guys who are all arguing, you're now a committee. Back when you guys figure out next month. Like, we'll deal with it later. You guys just go talk it out and let me know what you guys think and give us a recommendation and we'll figure it out.
We got to steal that, because there's been so many times where at the end of the meeting, it'll be going on for like an hour and a half. And it's like, okay, any other topics people want to talk about? I have like 4 topics I'm like, it's 9:30. I want to go home. I don't care. We can talk about this next month. And then I forget about it by next month. So that's actually really smart. I love
Just
that.
form a grievance committee.
Well, and what's nice with education in the front, like I'm doing education next month, and I did one a couple of was it last month or the month before that, man? I think it was the month before last. I did one, and I was given a strict like 15-minute time span. But once I start talking, they're trapped. so that time got a little loosey goosey. And what was nice is I like adding discussion questions in to get people engaged.
Yep.
And when people don't want to talk, I just go, if no one wants to raise their hand, I'm going to start picking. And then, so I pick randos and they'll like wake them up, especially someone who looks really tired. I'll be like, what do you think? And they're like, oh God.
Not me.
And yeah.
What were you talking about again? I'm sorry, I zoned out.
When you start doing the picking, one, people pay attention more because they know that they could get picked. And two, people raise their hand more because they go, he's probably going to pick me. And, I'm just going to contribute. So I ran a little bit long, but I didn't get stopped because people were enjoying it. So, it's nice in the front because people do have more energy and they're more interested. And there's definitely, like Matt's been saying, a huge push for more education stuff. And we're seeing it at least in our district, especially like a lot of emphasis on education.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty common thing that's happening right now. So we found what's crazy is it used to be when we would host we'd have a stated meeting, we'd have 20, 30 guys here, right? And then if we held a education night where we had a speaker come in or anything like that, and we did it separate of the stated meeting, you'd get like 5 or 6 guys to show up. Now, if we have a stated meeting, we'll have 4 or 5, we have just enough to open and maybe 3 or 4 guys on the sidelines. But if we have some speaker come in to talk about, we had a guy talk about George Washington losing his first battle. I can't think of where that was, but essentially it's what made him the man he was today. It was a major loss and essentially started the war with France. And we essentially had a packed house. Like people were coming out of the woodworks, and I'm like, where are you guys when we're doing stuff? But it's a good thing because it's made us think like, hey, maybe we should update our, maybe we need to do more of this, more education stuff. Right. And we need to put it kind of together.
And that's what really brings value to the meeting, right? That paying the bills doesn't add any value to your meeting. It's just something that's got to get done.
Yeah.
Education, topics that people are interested in, how to improve yourself, that's added value. That makes people want to come to the meeting.
We've had a bunch of bizarre educations this year too that have been fun, where there's a push too with our education committees and stuff to be like, hey, Masonic education is important, but not every education has to be Masonic. It can still be helpful. So we had a brother at Lodge show us how to make mead. He brought in all of his mead equipment.
Yes.
He's like, this is how you make mead. We just ran through step by step. We had one on how to use a fire extinguisher correctly. Yeah. So like, these are skills you should know. And so we've been having a mix of Masonic topics and then also practical and like fun. Like a brother just is really passionate about something and wants to share their stuff. And we're like, hey, if you're passionate and you like it a lot and it's interesting, people will be interested.
Yeah.
Because you like it so much.
It also, I would say it depends on the speaker also, because I've been in many lectures going through college and just going through other lodges and stuff. And if the speaker isn't every other word, like that, then you stay intrigued in it, depending on the topic. If it's a topic that you're like, I don't give 2 blanks about, it's like you're probably not going to enjoy the topic. But if you're like, this could be interesting, like you said, the fire extinguishers, it's like, well, I know how to use one, but hey, I'll sit there and listen to it because maybe there's something I didn't know about. Maybe I need to kind of pay attention to my lodge room a little bit more and stuff. But if you have a speaker that's stumbling across, it's like, okay, I'm not paying attention.
Well, there's, you can kind of tell when somebody's passionate about something. I don't care what you're talking to me about. You could be talking to me about how color exists. If you're passionate about it, I'm in. I mean,
well, right. The key is the speaker needs to connect the dots for everybody, right?
Yep.
A good speaker knows how to be like, all right, I'm going to teach you why colors exist. And you're going to be interested in this because it's actually cool because of ABC 1, 2, 3, and you'll be like, oh, dang. So like, it's really important that you especially with a topic that may not have broad interest, explaining to them why they should be interested, and that can help lead people, like make the bridge for them and be like, hey, this is cool because this is important because of this, and you're like, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
I think we
Bitcoin collection. I want to know more.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to kind of steal a page out of their book and let Mark know if he gets elected next year, because I know our next worshipful master, if elected, wants to streamline a lot of those boring topics, the bills, the communications, that kind of stuff, and just, hey, if it can be in an email, leave it in an email. Don't sit here and talk for 30 minutes about bills that are automated and stuff. So one thing that he's kind of tasked me with this year is tracking every bill. So next year we're just going to have a budget. Hey, electricity is not to exceed $5,000 for the year. So then at every SAID meeting, I'll just make note. And if it's under that amount, we don't have to talk about it, because he wants to get through those so much faster and have more of those fellowship nights and those education nights. Because last year, we, along with a few other lodges, kind of got slapped on the wrist because we only had 3 education nights. And Grand Lodge was like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you guys are doing
this isn't your standard. This isn't your standard. You guys usually do better than this.
So
better.
That's been our focus this year. And like Sam said, we've started getting those brothers back here for those events. So it's like, okay, let's keep the ball rolling and let's do it next year too. So I actually really like that. Hey, let's put it at the start and then get to the other boring stuff.
Well, and even if you can't get like an outside speaker or something like that in, there's so many resources that you can pull education topics from that'll take 5 to 7 minutes to present, right?
Yep.
Short talk bulletins are the ones that always come to my mind right away. Those are great to be used in a lodge for education, and all it takes is somebody reading it beforehand to be able to, present it well, right? So, there's not a lot of preparation that goes into it if you're in a jam just to get a piece of education out there.
Yeah.
Right.
And make sure you appoint a counselor or a committee of education and say, hey, your job isn't necessarily to do all the educations. Your job is to find people to educate us. And if you're unable to locate one, then it falls on you. You're the backup.
Yeah.
So have some backups. So when I was kind of like pseudo counseling for a little bit, I wasn't in the chair, but I was doing some education stuff. I would just be like, yeah, at least 10 pieces that are just waiting. And I go, and I'm gonna try not to use them. And I go until there's a gap, and somebody might be like, hey, last minute I can't do it. And you're like, well, all right, I'm pulling it out.
Is what it is. Gotta do it.
Well, it can be a fun role, especially for either a past master who's looking to get back in the game or a newer brother, and be like, hey, just like talk to people at fellowship, go around and be like, hey, I'm looking for an education next month. Is there anything you'd be interested in talking about? And you go around and you just, our counselors had almost the entire year booked out, at least 4 or 5 months in advance of people that he's ready to do. We've had some people back out, and then we do some quick scrambling to get something in. But, it's nice because it takes a little bit off the master's plate and has somebody who's just like, this is all I'm working on. I'm just focused on getting education in these meetings.
And it's awesome. It always is crazy to me that whenever we talk to you guys, how similar our states are and kind of what the culture and what people are into. So I just find it funny once again that here we are talking and you're telling me education's the big push, and I'm like, hey, us too. What are the odds?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's just very cool. It's always crazy.
It's like there's a culture that's in the U.S. that's like kind of like everyone is still. That shows how interconnected our jurisdictions actually are. While they're still separate, there's like common cultural threads that I feel like move around the United States.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
No.
So I also heard through the grapevine, Brother Matt, that you have taken on a position of leadership within your area. Is that true?
Yes, I am now one of the district representatives for the Grand Lodge here in District 12. So the way Wisconsin works is you have your district deputy grandmaster. We don't call it district deputy grandmaster anymore. We just call it district deputy. And then he has 3 district representatives that work for him.
Oh.
So in each district. So.
Okay. So you would be the equivalent on our terms. So we have the Grandmaster, and then there's a Deputy Grandmaster, and then there's District Deputy Grandmasters would be your title here for us. So we have the similar thing. We have 3 of them, and it's their job to go make sure that the lodges in their district are, on the up and up and doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's a very, very, I don't want to say hard. Hard's not the right word. It takes a lot of love to do it. A lot of guys that I really respect are in those positions right now for us. And I think Gerald Fish just told me at annual communications that he kept a tally. He was at 156 Masonic events this year alone. And that was not including the stuff he went to of his own volition. That was just the stuff that he was kind of not required, but like was on his job to do. And that kind of put some things into perspective to how hard these guys work for us. And I'm sure how hard your guys work for your jurisdiction as well.
Matt's hair's getting grayer by the day.
Yeah. For me, taking on the role of a district representative didn't really add anything that I wasn't already doing. I was working on my 3rd traveling apron in a row. So we have the Traveling Apron Award, which is where if you visit all 3 or all the lodges in your district in a 365-day period, you get the Traveling Apron Award. And I got that in 2023 and 2024, and I was working on it in 2025. And now my job as a district representative is basically to go visit lodges and go to events. The only added thing to it now is that I write a report afterwards.
Yeah.
And there might be some special event planning and stuff like that, extra little assignments, but it's what I enjoy doing already. I'm still traveling just on an official capacity now, so.
And taking on a labor of love for your jurisdiction. I'm sure your guys really appreciate it. It helps when they have a guy. I know, at least for us, when I first joined Masonry, I didn't have I don't want to say a respect. That's the wrong word as well. I guess I didn't really understand. I didn't know any of them. They were all, these older guys that were, I didn't know who they were, and they would show up and you were just kind of like, oh, okay, all right, we got to do our thing and then go. Now that guys that I kind of know that have been, were master when I was a member here, and, I've gone to events and inspections, and, we've been to barbecues and parties and stuff with these guys. Now when they show up, I see it. I feel a sense of respect and a sense of almost an awe of how hard these guys work.
Uh-huh.
It takes a lot to go to that next level, to do that. It's a thankless job.
Probably. I haven't been in the role all that long yet, so we'll see. But no, it's been very enjoyable. I really enjoy. I've enjoyed doing it, and it has been nice since I was out there traveling so much prior to this already, that I have a certain level of rapport with all these lodges already, so it makes it even easier for me to show up and go, "Hey guys, it's just Matt.
It's just me."
Don't worry about the name tag and what position it says or anything else. It's just Matt. Matt's here.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that's what, like, we sat down with ours. We had an episode with Brother Todd Williams. That was one of our first guests we had on. I figured he would be the last person that would want to be on our show, and he was one of the first people we ever had. And it was fun to find out that not only is he this, hardworking Mason, but he's also a lawyer, an environmental lawyer, and all this crazy stuff, and he's really fun. So now when I see him out and about, I ran into him 3 or 4 times at our annual communication, and I'm just over here giving shit the whole day because I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But you could tell he needed it because it's a very stressful day for those guys.
Right. Good old Masonic shit talking. I feel like that's our love language.
It is.
That's
we all have our traditions.
Right.
So, well, that is awesome. It's nice to see that things are going really well, both, personally in the Masonic circle, but also how are things going for your podcast?
Excellent. I'd say we've been doing pretty well lately.
I think
we
so.
seem to have plateaued at the same numbers for like the last year-ish, but
Loyal listeners.
Mhm. Yep. I'll take those every day of the week.
Agreed.
I
And
Oh no, go ahead, please.
to be expected to a certain extent, right?
Mhm.
It's not like we are putting out podcasts that are going to appeal to a whole ton of people. We have a very niche topic we're talking about, right?
Mhm.
So there's only so many people to get to.
Yeah, and what's crazy, so I'm going to tell you something funny. Once again, going back to our annual communication, because we just did it. There's about, we do Apple and Spotify just like you guys do. I also upload to YouTube just to do it. There's 7 people that religiously watch our show on YouTube, and I met one of them at Grand Lodge. He was like, yeah, I watch you guys on YouTube. I'm like, you're one of the 7.
Which
It's
is
an
hilarious
honor.
because we're voice only podcast. We don't
Right.
have any video.
So
all he's looking at is just our emblem.
as our logo. And I'm just like, you're one of the 7, sir. It's an honor. He goes, I don't know how to use that other stuff, but I know how to use YouTube. I just click on the link, and I'm like, sir, I appreciate you.
Right.
I'm in the
Right,
I'm in
that's
the
like-
dark zone of YouTube's algorithm, but this guy is keeping it going.
Same here. We don't really get any on YouTube, but then we have those people that are, loyal listeners that are on like some random podcast app that I've never heard of or didn't even realize existed. It'll show up in like the list of downloads, and I'm like, okay, but it's there for like every episode, so obviously
Good enough for
it
me.
works for you. Yep.
The weird thing with the YouTube stuff is so like ours, same as your guys' platform, it auto uploads with just whatever I put the thumbnail as, right? And that's all there is.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the list now, and it'll usually be like 2, 4, 5, and then there's like random ones like 65. And I'm like,
Yep.
what? That's just like the algorithm. That
What
where
happened?
People are like, and they'll be like, back to 3. Oh, here's 33, one person. And you're like, I don't know who's using YouTube for this. But
It's just up, down. You're like, what are we doing differently?
That's why we're in the back pages of YouTube, but that's okay.
you gotta have the right buzzwords, I feel like, on YouTube when it comes to people's like recommended.
The secrets of Freemasonry. Oh, we got 300 views somehow.
Yeah, mystery
Ritual.
Explosion
like
Freemasonry.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Actually,
just keep putting that in your descriptions, like, and we are exposing fellowship.
I've
person
watched
at a time.
50
They're like,
episodes. They haven't said anything about the secrets. When do we get to it? Just wait for it. The next 50 will definitely enlighten you.
the secret Wisconsin Masonic cheese curd recipe is just
Correct.
one episode away.
One
all the
more.
time, but it's locked behind a vault.
Oh, jeez.
oh geez. So what is your favorite what's one of your favorite topics that you guys have covered recently?
Ooh, I really liked the Masonic lifestyle episode we just did. I thought that was a fun episode. Just kind of talking about what living Masonry feels like and how it interacts with one's life.
Ooh, I
Okay.
like that. What was it about it that you enjoyed?
It was just like it was like very much more free form, and it was just me and Matt kind of unpacking like what are the impacts, what does it mean to live like a Mason, not just be a guy who goes to meetings in a lodge room, and kind of unpacking like what does a Mason act like in the world,
I like that.
It was getting back to our roots a little bit in that we didn't even really pick a topic outside of the fact that we said Masonic lifestyle, and then we just started talking and found our way through it, to wherever we were gonna end up.
It's always crazy to me whenever we think about our episodes or we have our guests or whatever. Every once in a while we put out one of those episodes. It's just me and Ryan or me and Gabe or me or whatever. Those are the ones that get huge. Like, I just thought we were rambling.
Yeah, we're just shooting the shit, going from topic to topic. I don't even know what we really talked about. And it will be like, yeah, you have 88 listeners. And
Yeah,
you're
just
like,
on Spotify. And I'm like, oh, neat.
what?
Okay.
I think people like when sometimes podcasters let their guard down a little bit and just have a conversation with like their people, so then you can like voyeuristically be like, and me too, I'm hanging out with them too.
Yeah, it's
We'll hang out
me.
together.
I know they can't hear me, but here's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with those guys. Well, that's awesome. How about you, Matt? Any recent episodes that have
Now, you can't pick the same one as Andrew. You have to pick a
No,
He picked
darn.
the best one.
Yeah, he did. No, he picked a really good episode, but I would have to say our episode that we did with Worshipful Brother Napoleon, who's the district education officer here in 12, was really good. I felt like there was a lot of valuable information in that across multiple different topics. So I really enjoyed that one.
And he's also the one of the hosts of the Further Light Masonic podcast, which is a podcast that is run by our education committee at the Grand Lodge of Wisconsin. And so he's got like a lot of mic equipment and all that stuff. And he was always like I think he used to DJ for a while. So he's got all the nice setup and stuff. And he's just an easy guy to talk to, super interesting, super thoughtful.
It's always so nice when you have a guest on that knows what you're talking about. And you're just like, yeah, great, cool. This is going to be easy instead of...
you go and make this episode for me. You talk to me.
Just plug that in. I sat down with a guy a few weeks ago. It was Brother Chad Kapinski. I was on the Ohio Lodge of Research's podcast that they have. And he was like, this is so nice to have a brother that knows how to do this. He's like, you already have the mics. You got a camera. You're good to go. I'm like, yes, Chad, I got you, brother.
Well, that and you and Ricky sat down with the DeMolay guys.
Yes, our Ohio DeMolay has started their own DeMolay podcast called Described. It's done by the scribe, which is like the secretary. And he's trying to record DeMolay history, and they were at our annual communication, and we jumped on with them, and they've got a sound like a input, like a huge input device and laptop, and they had to like bolt their microphones to the table, like it was all stuff that they were gifted, and it's awesome. I mean, we've all been there, we've all played that game, and I'm like, yeah, guys, here, let me show you like this, and he's like, yeah, I love your setup, or I'm gonna go buy that right now, and all this stuff, and I'm like, it's okay, guys, it's okay, you don't have to have the best stuff. We don't.
Yeah.
One piece at a time, right? You slowly add on. We all started with not the best stuff, and eventually,
as you
kind of, right? Eventually, you kind of keep growing it, and you get to a point where you're like, all right, well, yeah, this is pretty good now.
Yeah, and then you figure out that you can do these through Discord, and everybody gets good audio quality.
Yeah, or you add a sound bar and have clapping or whatever in the background.
Right. Yeah, and air horn.
Yep.
Really.
There we go.
You're not.
Whack, whack, whack.
I'm not stuck with you. You're stuck with me.
Right. How's your guys' podcast been? Jeez, Andrew, thanks. I have to admit, I haven't been a really great listener. We have a younger kid at work that will not get off the phone with me all day.
Mm-hmm.
Just wants to, because he's bored and doesn't listen to podcasts, and I'm like, so
you're like, leave me alone.
So I'm like, I'm way behind on listening to podcasts myself. So what's new with yours, even though your listeners probably know this?
So no, that's okay. We are currently working on our next big question. So you guys know, I think the last time I talked to you guys, so we do a question that we impose to all of our lists, or all of our interviewees, and we're kind of trying to get to the bottom of that question. This series question is what is a traveling man, and what makes a traveling man? And I would love to get your guys' input on that.
Do you want me to start, Andrew? You're nodding at me.
He's like, please.
Mine's going to be way shorter than yours, because you're a better example of a traveling man than I am. So I will briefly try to answer the question, and then I'm going to let you just go on a tear. So for me, I think what I think of when I think of a traveling man is reminiscent to advice that I got from a past master during my master's board when I was joining the craft. Instead of asking a question, he just wanted to tell me something, which is, you never know what's going to happen at a master's board. He's like, I just want you to know, he's like, that I was in France once. And when I was in France, I was trying to take a picture. But I was having a hard time because I was trying to do like a selfie, and it was going rough. And some guy came up and said, I got you, brother. And took our picture and explained that he was a Mason and all this stuff. And he's like, so just so you know, when you're traveling, you have friends anywhere you go. And I was like, yeah. So
Cool.
I think that traveling, man, being the ease that we are able to travel places and always have brothers wherever we go. So, that's up to you on how much you want to utilize that network of people that you can tap into. And it can be as simple as, you're going to Florida, you're going somewhere and just reaching out a lodge and being like, hey, either you're looking for a place to visit, or you can even just reach out and be like, hey, I'm just looking for a brother to talk to. I'm looking for some advice on like what to do in this area. And you'll find that brothers are more than happy to give you the insider knowledge. So we have an ease of traveling that is unique to our Masonic culture and our Masonic family worldwide.
Okay.
I like
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Nothing bad about that answer.
No.
You know, that was a good one. I enjoyed it. So let's see. Where to start? So obviously, most people think of traveling men as, that guy over there, he travels well. He gets out, he goes to other lodges.
He goes to France and tries and takes selfies
Right.
and stuff. Yep.
I wish I could do that. Most of the traveling I do is within half an hour of my house. But it's more than just physically going and showing up at another lodge, though. Like I don't think you can truly consider yourself a traveling man if you just go. You go over to this other lodge and you sit there and you sit on the sidelines and you watch what they do and then you go home afterwards, right? It's immersing yourself in that other lodge's culture. It's being there for their dinner prior to the stated. It's making connections with the members at that lodge, actually reaching out and trying to meet new brothers and enjoying the fellowship. If they go out after their meeting, joining them for that, or if everybody's just standing around and talking after the meeting, joining them for that. And taking and learning from, comparing it to your lodge, right? Because we all like to compare stuff, and taking what they might do better back to your lodge and going, hey, well, we do that better than them, which is great. So all right, we can leave our stuff alone, right? But it's more than just physically going up and showing up somewhere. A true traveler should be making connections anywhere they go, and the next time they go there again, they should be recognized and remembered from the last time they visited, and hopefully in a positive way. And I think a lot of times when I travel, I like to ask, I like to reach out to the lodge ahead of time to just let them know that I'm going to be there, so they know that they're expecting a visitor. And this was well before I was ever a district rep or anything, but now I definitely let them know. But I would ask a couple of questions. Do you guys have a dinner beforehand? What time does the meeting start at? Just to verify, even though I saw that information on, when I was looking up their lodge information already. And what is your dress code? Right? Because Lake Lodge, we're a suits lodge. Our lodge, 8 months out of the year, we're in suits. But there are a couple of months that we aren't. And I don't want to go rolling up to, you're always better showing up overdressed, right? So if I show up in a suit and they're in polos and khakis, okay, no big deal. I take the jacket and the tie off and I'm pretty close, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But what if they're doing a Hawaiian shirt night? Do you want to be the guy that shows up in a suit when you travel to them, and everybody else is in a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's making those connections, and then, immersing yourself in the lodge's culture, right? Don't make yourself an outsider from get, ask some questions ahead of time so that when you show up, you're part of it and not presenting yourself as an outsider.
I actually really like that answer because I connect with that. Because as I told you, Sam, when we were first starting out and I went to Pemberville for my Royal Schofield Society travels, and there was a brother about my age came out to me and he's like, oh yeah, you're Ryan from the Third Degree Masonic podcast. And that was kind of my starstruck, like, oh, you know who I am. And then it kind of started talking to me about, yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of renovations to your lodge. I wish my lodge would do that and all that stuff. And me and him talked for quite a bit, and I kind of connected with him. And this is a brother I've never met before. So I kind of like Matt's answer. Is like, I could have just been like, yeah, I am, and just walk the other way. But I'm doing a disservice to him, and B, yes, I'm traveling to that other lodge, but I'm not really doing anything. I'm just seeing the sights and going, yep, this is a lodge building. Cool.
Everybody like it. This one is not mine.
Yep. So I really like that traveling is so much more than just going to other places. It's actually, like Matt was saying, being involved, being part of the discussion, being part of the group, being part of their brotherhood and stuff.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's one of the more unique answers we've gotten to this question so far. We get a lot of the traveling to other lodges, but not a whole lot of people have said, really trying to immerse yourself into the kind of the culture of things, which I know is kind of important for you guys, because I know that's kind of like what you guys try to emphasize. It's trying to find your lodge's culture. I have totally ripped that off from you guys. But that's what I'm always telling people here at Lodge. I'm like, what is our culture, people? We need to figure it out, or we will have an identity crisis.
Yep.
And we have found it. We have since found it. And it's all thanks to you guys. We are now highly active in all of our town's activities, and we're the heroes of our local chamber of commerce, because no one comes and helps them with all these big events. And we show up with, I'm like, oh, how many of us you need? You want 10? You want 20? How many you want? I can get people. I will drag people from other lodges to come help us with this.
How many people are you expecting there? Yeah, we'll go ahead and triple the number, and Justin Masons.
Yeah, we literally just had an Oktoberfest in our town, and it was essentially manned entirely by Masons. It was really cool.
So much so that coming back to Lodge and giving an update at the state meeting, I wanted to talk about it in new topics, but kind of like what we were talking about before, about bringing in stuff that's actually relevant at the start. It was at the end, and this was one of the meetings that was like 9:30, 9:45, and we just got to new business on. I really wanted to bring up, hey, we should probably get shirts with our names on them, instead of just having a square and compass. So they're like, oh, you're a Mason. Okay, cool. It's like, no, we're right here downtown. We're that building you see over there with the square and compass, that's us. Yeah. And I wanted to bring it up, but again, it's 9:45, and I'm like, I want to go home.
And we had so many people coming up asking us, like, oh, we didn't know you guys, there was a Masonic lodge up there. We didn't know that. Now they know. We had business cards, and I mean, it's really cool to have found that culture for ourselves, and now to be able to hopefully share that with people. That what we really enjoy is that getting out in the community aspect. I think that's what our culture is, and I think that's what's going to help us.
And I would almost argue that kind of goes hand in hand with Andrew's answer to what is a traveling man, is we're out in the world helping not just brothers, but the community. We were sitting there going, hey, we realize you don't know who we are, that we've been here the whole time, and we're coming out of the shadows, but we're helping you. And asking for nothing in return. We're not asking, okay, cool, we just set up a tent. That'll be $50, please. And if you could just fill out this short survey with the 10, 15, 20% tip.
Well, the key is like what you're talking about with the shirts and stuff. Having branding for your lodge is a part of that culture, a symbol that you can rally around. Mm-hmm. Swag builds culture too, because you guys can, share like I don't want to say a uniform, but you know what I mean? Like, you take pride in your lodge, so you like to wear their swag and show off, like, this is who we are. Like, not only am I a Mason, I'm a representative of this lodge, and this is something we do as our unique culture. And what's interesting is that as I've traveled and I meet Masons from other places, I'll ask them, I said, so, we all have our like icebreaker questions with a brother, right? Like, what got you into Masonry? What's the
Yeah.
One of them I always ask is, so how would you describe your lodge's culture? And some people do not know how to answer that question.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I mean, we do meetings and stuff. And I'm just
right.
Like, see, now
it's a wrong answer.
I want to get that start to that question start to plant it in their head and be like, so what are you guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're more than meetings. You should think about that and go, what kind of impact do you want to have? And I do think, to your point, part of being a traveling man is traveling outside of your lodge too, and meeting people from all over and using your Masonic duties as an excuse to meet your community. And, like right now, one thing I've been working on is I'm planning to be in the East next year is trying to partner with a conservation group to adopt a portion of a river is something I want to do. So it'd be 2 cleanups a year and stuff like that. And so it's trying to find ways to say, we have all these craftsmen who are ready to get their hands dirty on something. Let's put them to work not only for our lodge, but also for the community.
Yep.
I think can be huge. And it shows the community like that, Masons aren't just in the shadows, that we have goodwill and we are ready to share it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea, doing like adopting a river. That's a very unique, creative idea.
So the part of the idea is, and since our lodge is Lake Lodge and we're named after Lake Michigan,
right,
that the Milwaukee River Shed is all the rivers that shed, all the waterfall that sheds back into the lake. And so when you adopt a portion of the river, that's what feeds into the lake ultimately. And, Matt set up during his year that we would do a lake cleanup, like a park and something like that.
Yep.
You have a park cleanup, and usually that was either Humboldt Park, which is a park downtown, and then last year we did South Shore, which is on the lake. And so as we got closer to the lake, the idea started to form, being like, so what's the next evolution? Matt and I talk a lot on the podcast about trying to evolve everything you're doing to like the highest level and say, okay, this is great. I like what we're doing. How do we take it one more level up?
Okay.
And so, me and Matt have been talking about this adopter for a couple of days now. And it's like, this is your name. Lake Lodge Freemasons is put on their website on the river's location and be like, this is the part they own. So good community representation. And then since it's forced into a location specific, you can actually make an impact on that small portion because you're consistent. Minimum twice a year for 2 years, you can adopt it for free. And so that's something I've been working on.
That's really cool.
That is really cool. I'm really looking forward to way down the line is Lake Michigan being renamed to Lake Fellowship. Being sponsored by
Lake Lodge Lake.
let's just start with the marketing campaign and the buy-in to this within our own lodge, which will be Lake Helping the Lake.
Lake Helping the Lake.
Ooh.
I like
writes
that.
itself too. The ad writes itself. And the thing is, this part of me is greedily doing it because I've wanted to get involved in more local conservation stuff. I like plants. Time for plants with Matt and Andrew. We've made that joke a couple times. We like to talk about our plants. And I don't have time to do conservation because I'm doing masonry. And I go, but what if we put them together?
What if we did both?
What if?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then make relationships with a local charitable organization too at the same time. So
Can't hurt.
Yeah. Nice.
I like that. So on top of all of that, I know, Matt, you're an avid motorcyclist like myself. You're also a member of a motorcycle riding association, I believe, is an RA.
Yep. It's the Low 12 Masonic Riders Association. There's a few different Low 12 Masonic Riders Associations out there. Apparently they all showed up online and social media after we named our group 5 years ago, even though they've existed for longer. So I didn't know they existed when we chose our name. But we are the only chapter in existence of our particular Masonic Riders Association. We're the Puddlers chapter, named after Puddlers Fall, which is where Lake Lodge started 153 years ago now. Yeah.
Still an operational pub too.
Yep, still an operational pub. Yeah. And so we had our first membership drive at that building and decided to name our chapter the Puddlers chapter for that reason. And so we get out and do a lot of traveling that way as well. We've gone down to the Tennessee Cave Degree twice. For the first year, it was 2 of us that went down there. The second time, it was 4 of us. And then we just had 7 go out to Sturgis this last year. So,
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
My first question being, how was that cave degree? That is one of the first episodes I ever listened from you guys, and having you describe the cave degree was really cool.
It is an event that I feel like every Mason should go to at some point. There are multiple factors that make it an amazing event. First of all, the lodge there, Union Lodge in Kingston, Tennessee, is super welcoming. Their membership is great. They're just phenomenal hosts, right? So there's a guy there that has a barbecue food truck that's doing food all weekend. It's really good. You can eat right there at the lodge for a couple of meals each day. Yeah, it happens to be positioned really well, especially if you're a motorcycle rider, because you're about an hour to an hour and a half from the tail of the dragon. So you can whip down there and do that while you're over there right away. You know,
perfect.
Devil's Triangle, the Smoky Mountains, you know, everything's right there. You know, Blue Ridge Parkway, I should say, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's a beautiful place to ride to in general. So it's very much so become a riders event, but so they do an entered apprentice or a fellowcraft in the lodge on Friday night, and then they confer a Master Mason degree in the cave on Saturday. Part of the unique thing about it is it's always different jurisdictions conferring there. So I've been to Tennessee twice to go to the cave degree, and I've yet to see Tennessee work.
Really?
Because they don't do their own work. So the first year I went, it was Florida conferring an EA in the lodge room Friday night, and then New Jersey conferring an MM in the cave on Saturday. And then the second year I went, it was North Carolina, I think, in the lodge room, and then Florida was in the cave doing the MM, because the typical thing is that it's whoever confers the EA on Friday night, the next year confers the MM in the cave.
Saturday. Nice. That's fair.
So that's kind of the rotation that they work off of, you know. But what really makes it, like, outside of the hospitality of the lodge and the uniqueness of it and being able to see different work every time you go from just different jurisdictions, everybody pretty much reserves rooms at the same hotel. Okay. So you can see where I'm going with this already, right?
Yep.
And Masons take over the whole hotel. What's going to happen? A whole lot of parking lot masonry.
Yep. All the world's problems will get fixed. All of them.
Yep. So there's no seating in the cave, so everybody has to bring a camp chair with them. So most people arrive in town Thursday night, definitely by Friday night, right? And you got all these people with camp chairs with them. So as soon as that degree is over with on Friday night, everybody's back at the hotel. Camp chairs come out in the parking lot, and everybody's just hanging out, enjoying each other's company.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
It goes back to, you know, what I said earlier with the traveling thing and making connections, right? So now I have, from going down there, I have connections in Florida, I have connections in Georgia, I have connections in North Carolina, I have connections in Tennessee. Like, it's truly a unique experience, and there's really only one way to do that, right? And that's to go to cave.
Go to the cave. You heard it here, folks. You have to go to the cave. No, I mean, ever since I heard you talk about it on that episode, it's made me want to go. And it's funny. So I'm a member of a motorcycle club that's not Masonic at all, but there's a few of us that are also Masons. So it's funny that I'm like, well, you know, we could take a ride down to Tennessee, just a few of us. That could be a lot of fun. And so and every time I hear about it, I'm like, wow, that sounds so cool, watching a Master Mason degree in a cave. I'm like, how many times are you going to get to say you've gotten to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd say you've done it a couple times, but...
Right. Well, and, you know, part of the fun thing, too, is it's that adds to the uniqueness of the experience is you end up parking in grass in a field, right? And then it's a fairly long walk to and into the cave. It's August, you're in Tennessee, and you need to take at least a hoodie in the cave with you because it's like 50 to 55 degrees down there. So...
very swampy on the way in, very cold, and then swampy on the way out.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you're on bikes, it's all leathers and jeans and everything. It's great.
Yep.
I always joke that's what we do is we ride where we're going, and then we stand in the sun in full leathers. It's great. Makes total sense.
You know, we don't ride motorcycles because we're the brightest.
No. I'm somebody asked me like, wow, you know, you've got a college degree. I'm like, I also ride a rocket in between my legs and mock Jesus down the highway with nothing keeping me in my seat. And I do it for fun.
Right? I literally sit on pretty much on top of a tank of liquid explosives,
Correct.
which is placed right above an area that controlled explosions are happening in.
Correct. Yeah, we're geniuses, all right. But I'll tell you what, it's the most fun I've ever. I was so grumpy the other day. I mean, it was a couple weeks ago. We were still at some decent weather, but I was so busy. You know, like when you have those days where you're just like, I want to go out and ride, but then you're like, then I gotta get the bike out, and I gotta do that, and I gotta do that, and your brain just kind of tells you like, nah, it's not worth it. Like you don't even have anywhere to go. And my friend was like, you need to just get on the bike and go. And I'm like, nah, I don't like just get on the bike and go. So I was like, whatever. So I jumped on the bike and I went, and I came back about 45 minutes later with a big smile on my face. And I went, yeah, I just needed some serotonin, dopamine, and wind therapy. That's all I needed.
Yep. Sometimes that's the answer to everything.
Yeah. Well, and it's also fun because you'll understand this concept too of going down and riding in a pack of guys that you call brother. Like you're kind of, depending on how you guys ride, I don't know if you ride in a staggered, if you ride side by side, but like, if you ride side by side, you're literally, you know, a foot away from the guy next to you sometimes, and you just got to trust that your brother's got you. And, you know, you ride in tandem and you're like, you're just listening, you know, you're feeling it. You know, it's you and the road and your brothers, and you're going to the thing, and you're just like, there's just nothing like it.
Yep. No, I would agree. We do ride staggered, but I have in my younger days ridden side by side with a couple of guys who I felt like we knew what the other one was going to do before he did it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, riding tandem's a whole different experience.
Even staggered though is still, I mean, you know, you're going through town, you got your guys, and you're just like, hell yeah, brother. You know, I know that's such a stereotype, but it's so true.
It is. But you feel like you're on top of the world. You're out doing something you love with people you love. And, you know, it doesn't get much better than that. So.
And, you know, you get to where you're going and you're just like, all right, so now what are we going to do? Because we just, this is it, huh? This is what we're doing? Okay, all right. Well, whatever you guys want to do. But that's awesome. I love hearing that traveling is such an important thing. I love hearing about your travels when you talk about it on your episodes. It's kind of one of the things that kind of gets me going, I really should probably travel a little bit more. Especially, you know, what's my excuse?
I don't know. You're only planning a wedding.
Yeah, right.
Minor things.
Yeah, I also think if I told my fiance, like, I was like, yeah, I've got to go to annual communication. She's like, how long are you going to be gone for that? And I'm like, maybe 3 days. 3 days? She goes, well, we have a meeting with, I said, we don't have a meeting with anybody. I double checked that. Well, still, we could be working on this. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I need my peace.
Here's fun advice for you. Get through the I do's and then start traveling, because then it's
too late. Yeah. She's already suckered into it. It was really funny. We had to meet with our the pastor that's going to be doing our wedding, and he was a super nice guy. And he sits down with us and he goes, so how long have you guys been together? 1 year, 2 years? You know, how long are we looking here? And I'm like, 11 years.
Oh, jeez.
11.
I took 7. I get it.
I was like, 11. He goes, oh, okay, all right. Like, so we just skipped to the back of the thing, like the booklet that's like, you know, making sure that we should get married type thing. He's like,
right.
Yeah, you guys like each other, right? Yeah, she's had plenty of opportunities to kick me loose. I think we're good. This is a formality at this point.
Right. He's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna check all these boxes.
Correct.
11 years.
Yeah.
You guys got it all.
Live together. All right. Yep. You've gotten fights. Yep.
Yep.
You guys have made up. Yep.
Daily. Yeah. It was funny. We went to breakfast this morning, and on the way there, we were bickering back and forth. And she goes, the sad thing is it doesn't even feel any different. She goes, we're already married. It's just not technical yet. And I'm like, yeah, the government's just not involved yet. After that, you can't leave. It gets expensive. But yeah, I think I'm going to take your advice. I'm really looking forward to after this wedding is over. Ryan and I have some pretty cool traveling trips we have planned. He wants to go see Gas City Lodge in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's where his grandfather was a member of. And it's only like a 6-hour drive for us, 6 or 7.
Well, total, yes. It's like a 3-hour drive there, a 3-hour drive back.
But we would have to stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
I also have a plan of, visiting a certain lake lodge one of these days, coming up and seeing some guys that I know up there. I'm really excited.
That's over there.
I don't know.
Maybe some.
Yeah, we can show you the city too. There's a lot of cool stuff.
I love it.
Bunch of jokers. We could go to the Harley Museum.
Oh, I'm down for that any day of the week for that. I love that.
Me and Andrew are just going to go somewhere else
and go get some good Mexican food over in Walker's Point. Casa de Alberto.
That's why I told him, I said, when we go, it can't just be a 1-day thing. We're going to be there all week. So I should probably wait until I have some vacation days for that. But
right.
But my last question for you guys, I'm sure you guys got things to do today. What's on the future horizons for Time for Fellowship? Do you guys got any fun projects in the works?
You act like we plan.
We have one thing planned.
Oh. I'm excited.
Go ahead, Andrew.
No, you go ahead.
No, we're just going to leave it in suspense.
Leave it in suspense. We have one thing. Goodbye, everybody.
Tune back in on the 50th episode to find the secrets of Freemasonry.
There we go.
I love it.
No, it's far future planning, but we plan on doing our usual stuff, I think we're going to take December off again like we did last year as our season break. Give ourselves a break, and then we'll come back with a riveting January and then a really exciting February, because we will be at the Conference of Grandmasters of North America with a table set up in the exhibitor area. Hopefully getting to chat with some grandmasters and right worshipfuls and stuff like that. So
that is amazing.
That would be cool.
I can't wait to hear about that one.
Yeah, they're going to regret bringing us there, but
it's fine. They only have to invite you one time. That's all you need. After that, you're...
Okay, who are you guys again? Time for Fellowship? Yeah, you are instantly on the block list. Gotcha.
Just give them a different podcast name every time you go.
They're like, this year Time for Fellowship caused an international crisis with the country of Georgia. And you're like, uh-oh.
What you got to do is say 2 jurisdictions next to each other that do not communicate with each other and just ask them about what their beef is. Just let it go.
So what do you hate most about Illinois?
Oh, Lord. Well, I have some emails on why you guys hate them. Would you like me to pass them around?
If after January there's like an early February episode, and then suddenly there's no more episodes from us,
we know why.
We screwed up.
We know why. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, for some odd reason, the Third Degree Masonic podcast has 2 more hosts. We don't know where they came from, though.
That's fine. I am currently making it everybody's problem. Or let me exist without any
ruling.
Yeah, any ruling. Now I've got organizations calling me going, hey, we want you to come and do this. And I'm like, are you sure? Me?
I mean, it's nice because, I never really realized that, we've been invited to do speaking parts and stuff like that, people are looking for entertainment or interesting things to add on to various things they have going on. And it's nice that as podcasters, we can fill that function. But yeah, we can just add, and like, what are you gonna do? It's like, just talk to people, just add some level of excitement, having some microphones, something to do. And I think it just adds an element of just another interesting thing you can, I've said in the past, I'm like, masonry opens up interesting like opportunities to do interesting stuff. And so like being able to be joined on a podcast, you're like, wow, okay. So like there's a lot of interesting things, and this is just one of them.
Well, and the cool thing is going to be if you can get some of those Grand Masters on your show or on your, on your episode, those guys know how to talk. So you can only imagine the amount of wisdom or shenanigans that is about to come out.
Let's hope both.
Both. I want both. I just want to laugh the whole time.
Well, and the whole goal of our show, and similar to your guys' goal, is to really put a spotlight on all the interesting people in the craft. And, it's going to be a nice opportunity for us to have a lot of interesting people in the room with us who are passionate about Freemasonry, so passionate that they decided to torture themselves by being Grand Masters and travel all over and do all this work. So, those are some of the most passionate Masons that you can meet. And so it's going to be nice to try to drag them on a microphone and be like, well, like we were saying earlier, with good education, tell us what you're passionate about. And so
at that point, you have to be passionate about Masonry. You know what I mean? Like you're living it through, not that we're not all living it, but like you are literally, it is your job 365 days. Day one into the last day, you are the spokesperson for Masonry in your jurisdiction. Period. That's terrifying to me. But brothers, I really want to thank you once again for jumping on the show. It is always, always a pleasure to be here with you and to talk to our cousins down the way.
Yeah.
No, it's always enjoyable. Can I regale you guys with one more tale, since I know you guys are talking about traveling?
I would love that. Please.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for indulging me on this. So when we were out in Sturgis, we went to Deadwood, and it was all brothers that went along. It was all Masons. So in Deadwood, the Masonic Lodge on the first floor was a cigar shop. It was, so we were like, oh, okay, well, I guess if they're still meeting there, cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. When we just kind of walked past at first, but as we were leaving Deadwood for the day, we decided to pop in. And one of the brothers with us, worshipful brother, Jeff Teeley, happened to just ask the guy at the door, hey, is there anybody here from the lodge? And there happened to be somebody there. And he was a former mayor of Deadwood, who was also a member of the lodge, and who was sitting down enjoying a glass of bourbon and a cigar, and was kind enough to give us a private tour of the lodge room. So the building was 3 floors tall.
Wow.
And their lodge room was on the 2nd floor. There was a big theater on the 3rd floor that had all these original painted backdrops for like Scottish Rite degrees and stuff like that, and one of those old giant lighting control machines. Well, this building also happened to contain the oldest elevator in the Black Hills that is still in operation. The elevator was installed in 1902. And so we all got to ride up and down that elevator, which is still maintained to this day. But the reason I bring this story up is because when you're out and about and you're going places, shoot your shot. Don't be afraid to ask. Right? Yeah. If Jeff wouldn't have stopped and asked and just made that decision to do that, we never would have gotten to have the experience that we did, which was to see this super old and impressive lodge building and get a private tour of it and everything else. So don't be afraid to ask.
And by the way, this building from the pictures is gorgeous. Like, it's crazy how nice that lodge looks. So old school.
And you would have never gotten the chance if you wouldn't have just asked. And I'm sure this guy was more than happy to give you a tour. He was probably ecstatic about it.
He's bourbon to do it.
Right.
Right. Right. So, it doesn't hurt to ask.
I think that's a perfect wrap up to the episode. I mean, just don't be afraid to ask and get out there and travel.
Get out there and do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Well, thank you guys. I'll let you get back to your awesome Sundays. I'm sure you got fun things to check off your list like I do.
Yeah, don't worry, Andrew. The Packer game's not for another 4 hours.
Oh, jeez.
We'll make it super.
All right, brothers. Thank you so much for being on the show. We look forward to having you on again.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having
Appreciate
us.
it. Always a good time.
Well, Ryan, that was an awesome interview.
Yes. And kind of like what you said at the start, it's always a fun time. It's always a great time. Love talking with them. We always have just the best conversations and eye-opening. And we kind of steal a little stuff from them, and then they steal a little bit from us. And I don't think that interview or just discussion. I don't like interview discussion.
That was it. Yeah, we really didn't interview them so much as it was just like having a discussion with your cousin.
Yeah, and I don't think it could went any better. I mean, we could have sat there and talked for 2 more hours, I think.
Easily.
Just going off on tangents, talking about traveling men, talking about our experiences and stuff. Really, the one thing I'm looking forward to it is meeting them one day.
Yes.
And actually sitting down and talking to them face to face, having a few drinks, and just having a good old time.
Me too. I really was happy to hear that education is being a big there's a big push for education in their area, because I think that's the same thing here, and it feels good knowing that maybe we're going in the right direction and maybe this isn't just a one-off thing. There's a whole line of it.
Yep.
But I also really enjoyed both of their answers for what a traveling man is, but
Yes.
I really liked Matt's answer. It really resonated of going out there, finding that lodge, not only just visiting, like, hey, I'm not just in this building, but I'm also I'm taking in the culture.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Finding the culture of that lodge, being an active participant. You can't necessarily, you don't get to vote and do all that stuff when you visit, but like you can be an active participant while you're there.
Because I would almost take it a little step further. There's traveling and then there's traveling.
Right.
Like it, same, different.
Right.
Like you said, you could go to all the lodges in America and be like, yeah, I went to a meeting there, didn't really do anything, showed up for their meeting, sat there, did their Master Mason, and then left or entered apprentice or whatever degree. It's like, okay, cool, you traveled a lot, but you didn't really get to know the brothers, get to know their business, get to know their culture. And that's where I personally kind of like Andrew's of knowing that no matter where you go, you have a brother, you have a friendly face, a friend that can help you out. And I think, yes, you can wear the square and compass and you have that, but going and traveling and knowing them and out in the wild, as we like to say, is, oh, hey, I just saw Matt and he helped me change a tire. We just sat and discussed for a few hours or whatnot. It's like you build that relationship and then you can, I think, truly call yourself a traveling man.
Yeah, I agree. I really like their answers, and I think it takes us one step closer to helping us answer the question of what is a traveling man and how do you become one. I think he had some good answers on how to be a traveling man.
I agree.
I look forward to seeing what else the future has in store for us. But for today, and remember, craftsmen,
keep your working tools in order
and always be on the level. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast do not reflect those of the Grand Lodge of Ohio, its officers, or any of its jurisdictions. They only reflect those of the hosts or guests.